Crystia!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Fringe. The Liberal Party's in free fall, and no matter where you stand when it comes to an election being called, thinking, and I get it, guys. Believe me, anytime you come on these videos and we're talking about Trudeau stepping down, look, I have to report on these things. We have to talk about it. It's one of the main relevant things that's going on in our government right now. And personally, I want to see Justin Trudeau go to the ballot box. I want to see him go to an election and get absolutely destroyed by Pierre Poilievre. I don't want to see him step down. And I think that an election is on the rise. I think it's coming. I'm going to explain why in this video. But one of the funnier things that's coming out is that the leaders or the heads of the party are now scrambling. We're seeing it all over the spectrum. I'm going to get straight into it, guys. Take a look here. Justin Trudeau, again, I'm not going to get into the Globe and Mail because, well, this is paywall in order to read their articles. I'm not giving the Globe and Mail my money. But here it's saying Trudeau's urging Liberal MPs to move on from dissent and focus on Canadians. You should have focused on Canadians a decade ago, mister. But you never have. You're more focused on your bank account and making yourself and your friends rich than doing anything. But now you have Chrystia Freeland shaming her party and fanning the flames as much as possible, nixing the Liberal calls for secret Trudeau ballot. Not how we do things. Now, when it comes to the ballot, my personal opinion, I've said many times, the ballot does nothing more than allow for secrecy among the party for them not to have accountability as to who's voicing for Trudeau to leave. Nothing will come of it. It'll just simply be out there for optics. They'll have their numbers of how many MPs are truly disgusted with Justin Trudeau and want him to leave, and Trudeau will stay, even if 99% of them say that they don't want him sticking around. Where this will change, though, where I think this is a good thing and why this is beneficial, as we talk about Blanchette saying that he's doing everything to get the wheels in motion for Trudeau's government to fall. I do believe we're going to see an election sooner than later. Let's go through this and then I'll get into that. Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland has rejected the idea of the Liberal caucus holding a secret ballot vote on Trudeau's leadership, saying it's just not how the Liberals govern themselves. Last week, 24 members of the caucus signed on to a letter calling on the Prime Minister to step down, but the next day Trudeau said firmly that he will lead his party into the next election. Well, it's because he has an undiminishable hubris. It knows no bounds. He will not step down no matter what. This man is too ignorant to acknowledge that. Well, it's not even about acknowledgement at this point. He just wants his way. He wants to go out the way he wants to go out. But where I'm going to reflect here is that it says here 24 members of the caucus. I've been told and seen in multiple articles that that number is now closer to 40. But it says here that some of the dissenters are now calling for Liberal MPs to vote in a secret ballot on whether Trudeau should remain as leader. Again, it doesn't have any effect. It won't matter. If it's a secret ballot, if 98, 99% of the Liberals turn around and say, no, we want you to get out of here, and, Freeland, Guilbeault, and, the usual suspects, Mark Garrettson, are the only ones who say, no, you should stick around. He's going to stick around. He's not going to go anywhere. Freeland said the leaders are not chosen by secret ballot in the Liberal Party. Our party and our caucus have had many opportunities to decide our own rules for choosing a leader, she said at her weekly press conference on Tuesday. No, you don't. If you look at the Conservative Party, they have what's called a reform notice in order that 20 MPs or more, I believe it is, that can sign a declaration stating that they want new representation as a leader in their parties. It's a way out for the party to essentially boot their leaders if they're dissatisfied with their performance. Justin Trudeau, if you remember when he came into office in 2015, rewrote the constitution of the Liberals Party so that it ensured that no matter what happened, he couldn't be ejected from the party. Nobody could move him out. So Chrystia Freeland making this statement is a complete nothing burger. It says our party decided on that and our caucus decided on that, and in our rules, the leader is not chosen by secret ballot of caucus members. That's just not how Liberals govern themselves. It's not how we do things. Well, how they do things is they steal taxpayers' money, they fill their friends' pockets, and they're corrupt to the core. That's how they do things. After each election, parties have the opportunity to decide if they will avail themselves of measures contained in the Reform Act, which allows MPs to force a leadership review. The Conservatives were the only party to opt in after the last election, and those measures were used to oust former leader Aaron O'Toole from his role in 2022. Again, very beneficial. O'Toole was doing nothing for the Conservative Party. The Conservatives knew that. They had stronger numbers with Pierre Poilievre, and now look at where they are in the polls. It's good to have those fail-safes in place, even for a party. But the Liberals did not leaving them no mechanism to depose Trudeau, even if a majority of MPs wanted him to go. I wish there was a mechanism for it, because I think that it's an awful lot of people who aren't saying what they're hearing from their constituents, but are motivated by something else, said Sean Casey, one of the few Liberal MPs who has publicly admitted to signing the letter. In a secret ballot, I think a secret ballot, would allow for those people to be responsible to their constituents. It would also bring finality. Trudeau's leadership has come into question as the Liberals continue to trail the Conservatives in public opinion polls. But the Liberal caucus is set to meet again Wednesday for the first time since last week's 3-hour meeting, when several MPs told the Prime Minister they feel he should step aside for the good of the party. Again, at the time we're recording this video, I haven't seen anything published in the news, nothing coming out of that meeting, again, as Thursday morning approaches. So again, it's going to be interesting to see what comes of that. But it says if they were allowed a secret ballot vote, it would put the issue of Trudeau's leadership to rest no matter which way the vote went, Casey said. At least we could move past this media frenzy and preoccupation with internal party matters at a time when there's significant issues facing the country and an election coming up, he said. So even he's acknowledging that an election is on its way. Now, whether that's going to be imminent or in the next year, this is Liberals again. If you watched my live stream from last night, and if not, you should be joining those live streams anytime we go live on the party. Make sure you hit your bell for notifications. Essentially, the Liberal Party is a sinking ship. There's a giant hole in the side, and the Liberals are all holding planks of wood to stop the water from flowing in, but Trudeau's holding the hammers and nails, and he's refusing to give it to his party. Essentially, Liberals right now are trying to get Carbon Tax Carney to replace Justin Trudeau so that they have as much time as possible to try to rebrand the party and convince naive voters that the Liberals really do have their best interests in heart, and it was just Justin Trudeau who screwed everything up. Well, hopefully that doesn't come to pass, because, again, I would like to see Justin Trudeau face the consequences in an election. I want to see him see utter defeat and be obliterated by Pierre Poilievre. And thank God for his stubborn nature to not leave, because I honestly worry that Pierre's numbers, not that he wouldn't get the Prime Minister's job next time around, but I think it would definitely have an effect on his numbers. It says here that several cabinet ministers expressed their support for the Prime Minister on Tuesday and urged other elected Liberals to voice their concerns in the privacy of caucus meetings. If you want to express yourself in the Liberal caucus, you stand up and you talk, said Employment Minister Randy Boissonnault. But do you talk, Randy, or does the other Randy talk? That's my question. Ultimately, what this is going to lead into is we look at this picture of Yves Blanchette saying that he's ready to remove Justin Trudeau to see his party fall, in his own words. This is where I think we could see an election. Now, while many people want to say, hey, it's clickbait, it's just more and more of the same thing, follow me here for a minute. What we have to talk about is a strategic possibility of an election on the loom. Now, what I personally believe is going to happen is that if you look at what's going on in the House of Commons, if you look at information that's being passed around during question period, with Pierre Poilievre stating that there are Liberal MPs texting from bathroom stalls information to the Conservatives, what they want them to talk about because they can't speak up against Justin Trudeau, with Blanchette saying that he's working alongside the Conservatives to force an election. We all know Jagmeet Singh is going to hang on to Justin Trudeau. In fact, he's come out saying that he's going to support Justin Trudeau no matter what, despite his claims that he was tearing up agreements. Again, as Pierre says, that was all theatrics for them to maintain their by-election seats in Manitoba. I firmly believe that. But when you have these disgruntled MPs in the Liberal Party, one thing that was mentioned earlier is it would allow them to voice their concerns for their constituents. A lot of these MPs stand to lose their seats when it comes time for another election. Whether Jagmeet Singh leaves and takes the NDPs down with him, whether Justin Trudeau leaves and the Liberals all lose their seats, neither Jagmeet Singh nor Justin Trudeau care about what happens to those MPs. Those MPs may not want to lose their comfortable seat in the House of Commons, and really the only way to right their own ship at this point would be to show their constituents that during a time where the Liberal Party was trying to push Justin Trudeau to the finish line of October of 2025, they stood up and they voted no confidence in their own Prime Minister in order to trigger an election. I think from a strategic standpoint, it's a chance for those Liberal candidates to say that they did what they had to right the sinking ship, that they didn't want to go to the polls, but it would secure their seats, hopefully amongst their constituents, by saying, at least we stood up and did the right thing. This is where I think it's going to go in terms of if we see an election prior to October 2025. If you ask my personal opinion, is Justin Trudeau going to make it to 2025 in October? No, I don't believe he is going to. With the amount of pressure that's in the House of Commons right now, I do not think Justin Trudeau stands a snowball's chance in hell of making it to October 2025. I think there's going to be two scenarios, again, unfolding as we move forward here. I think that you're either going to see an election called very soon, that Pierre, the Bloc, may start chatting with some of these bathroom texters, trying to convince them that standing up and giving their vote is maybe within their best interests, and you may see a vote of no confidence triggering an election. Or I think the other possibility is that Justin Trudeau may prorogue Parliament very soon into the new year. And then when the new year rolls around, maybe then enough people will be fed up that we'll see an election called. Again, in politics, your guess is as good as mine. The door's wide open. Things could change at any time, but rest assured, folks, whenever it drops, we will be covering it here on the channel. So with that being said, let me know what you guys think is going to happen down below in the comments. Again, I apologize for the long explanations and the long banter into what I think is going to happen, but it's important we talk about these things because these videos aren't meant to be, here comes an election. This is, again, where I think the country could go, and we need to keep a sharp eye on what's happening to this country in order to be vigilant when the time comes that an election is called. And again, I personally believe it's on the horizon. Let me know what you guys think down below. If it's your first time here, I hope this video has earned your subscription. Make sure as you're hitting that button, you click the bell for notifications. Join me live here on the channel each and every Friday night for Friday Night Fringe, our live streaming show where it's not just myself, but my beautiful wife, Mrs. Fringe, who joins me here each and every Friday night starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central here on the channel. We discuss everything that's happened this week in politics, everything coming up in the week ahead, and some back and forth and Q&A within our communities. If you're in the Calgary area, don't forget that we are doing a meet and greet before we move out of the city. Saturday, November 2nd at Shanks South in Calgary from 7 to 9 p.m. I hope to see you guys there. We'll be signing books if you bring any copies that you've purchased. We will have books available for purchase at the event as well for anybody who wants to get their hands on signed books. We'll be doing selfies. We'll be chatting with you guys. We'll be hearing what you guys have to say. And I look forward to meeting each and every one of you again at Shanks South from 7 to 9 p.m. this Saturday, October 2nd. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.